What's going on? This is But I'm Not Wasted. I am your host, Zach Wolf. This is the podcast for lovers and makers of music. Let's go. What's up, buddy? Okay, so unfortunately, the video died on us after we filmed this whole podcast.
That's life. That's life.
That's life. You got to flex with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to audio. So you're going to hear this whole interview, but the actual, the video is not.
I promise you it'll be worth it, though.
It'll be worth it, folks. So stay tuned, watch the whole thing, and yeah, enjoy the episode. So about 2 seconds ago, Justin made me feel self-conscious about my shirt color, so I changed it.
I'm like, dude, if they're going to take a guess of whether you're wasted or not, they're not going to believe it with that shirt.
That's why, And then also, he changed me to make me like the top of his little contact things, like those little bubbles on his iMessage, just for when he handed me his phone.
For all you people who are watching, and I do the same thing, now you know.
Yeah, so apparently
I like to make people feel special. What's wrong with that?
Apparently that wasn't genuine. So anyways, welcome to But I'm Not Wasted. This is my podcast. This is Justin Maina, everybody.
Hands-free, Mom. Look.
Hands-free, Mom. He's doing it. Justin's one of my best friends. He's an awesome guy. He has done American Ninja Warrior stuff. He's done a lot of TV show hosting. He's been in movies. Very successful guy. We're going to get into all that. But Justin, welcome to the show, man.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure being here. I have no idea what he's going to ask me, so that's part of the fun of this. But we get along well, and I think if we keep it raw and real, you guys will enjoy that a little bit more.
Yeah, they call us the Dangerous Duo. By I mean we call us the Dangerous Duo. Which is a little arrogant, but we do. So
yeah, but we keep it fun. We live up to that for sure.
We live up to that. But so anyway, so this is a music podcast. Justin's a little bit more on like the acting, entertainment, show hosting side of things. So a little less music. He has some music background. But yeah, just for context, this show's a little bit more just like entertainment industry focus in general.
Although I did do one music video. It hasn't.
He
been
was
released.
a backup dancer for Shakira. He was the booty girl, right?
No.
Boom, boom, boom,
I was the.
He can twerk like you wouldn't
guy
believe.
in the background for Shakira.
Oh, okay.
No, not even that.
Me too. Yeah.
A music video with you that hasn't been released. Yes, inside joke.
Okay.
So if you remember anything from this podcast, ask him about a background video.
Ladies, don't ask about it. It doesn't matter.
Okay, good. This
never
might
happened.
be edited out.
No, it will not be. Nothing's edited out of my podcast.
Good. This is great.
But I'm not wasted. We're keeping it raw.
Yeah, good.
So anyways, Justin, give us a little intro, maybe just high level. We'll get into all your stuff later. But yeah, just kind of who you are, what you've done, kind of some of the things I've touched on, whatever. Yeah, whatever you want to say. So
yeah, honestly.
The floor is yours, Justin. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, I'm just grateful to be on here, and my goal with any podcast.
Yeah, shut up, man. I don't want to hear it.
All right, now I forgot what I was going to say.
Just kidding. Sorry.
You don't want to hear all the fluff.
Also, my mic might just be slowly lowering the rest of this podcast. I feel like it was a little bit higher a few minutes ago.
The cool thing is we can fix this right now, right away.
Yeah.
All you need is a little ninja grip adjustment.
Enough. Oh, man. And, he is strong, ladies. He is strong.
Hopefully that works.
Yeah, we'll see if it stays.
As it lowers.
Yeah, it totally...
If you notice it lower, you're not paying attention.
Yeah, you're not paying attention to what we're saying.
Okay, let's get right into it. Oh, yeah, if you made it this far, this is good. So at the end of the day, my main purpose in life, well, first of all, for me to know that I'm valued and loved. And for me,
what you've done a little bit too.
What I've done?
Yeah. Just like give us your little bit of like professional background.
Professional background. Because nobody cares about anything else. Nobody cares about feeling loved and valued.
We'll get to the heart of it, but we want to know.
Get to what I've done.
For the listeners, professional background is part of the show.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Give it to us, man. Sorry.
Background. I think the thing that people care most about is that I've been a competitor on American Ninja Warrior.
That's why I'm your
for
friend.
Several seasons. Thank you. Yes. Still waiting for the autograph. I know.
That's it.
I've competed a few seasons, competed nationally on some ninja competitions around the country. I had the honor of being able to travel to even Haiti with a nonprofit, World Orphans.
Why'd you do that? No,
I'm just kidding. You know what's amazing about that? All right,
orphans.
Quick tangent.
What?
I literally got asked to go to Haiti to put together this Ninja Warrior training camp with for hundreds of orphan kids. It was the last place on my mind, honestly, to go, Haiti. I could think of a million other places I wanted to go to but Haiti. And I literally took some time to really just reflect on it. And a week prior to this, no lie, I was writing down all the things that I was really wanting out of life. And I thought spontaneity, impacting kids, being able to travel, expecting the unexpected. And I didn't know how I was going to maybe raise the money to get there. It literally checked off every reason why I should go there. And I ended up going there. It opened up some of the best opportunities I've ever had to this date, speaking on platforms as large as 20,000 people because of saying yes to going to Haiti. It would have never happened if it wasn't for that. I would have never met some of my great friends up in Michigan, ice climbing every year, doing something crazy like that. And some other close friends I've met just having opportunities that have come and stemmed from saying yes to that opportunity that didn't sound appealing.
That's amazing. I love it. So Ninja Warrior, what else did you do?
Ninja Warrior, I've been working with a live national network for 9 years, the Home Shopping Network. Have you ever heard of QVC?
QVC.
They were bought out by HSN. So started off fitness modeling with them, then giving on-air testimonials to eventually becoming an on-air guest host on the network. So that was a great honor. But fitness modeling from print shoots, commercials, from Doritos to Xbox One commercials. If you type in Doritos Xbox, you'll see a commercial. Me
Which is
with
super
sharks.
legit. It's him and Drake swimming with sharks, right? Isn't that what it is?
Maybe Drake was in the background.
Drake was in the back. Drake was dressed as one of the sharks for the video.
I think that's clickbait, But,
it's clickbait. It's clickbait.
But I do say the word shark bait in the commercial.
Come on.
But anyway, that was pretty cool. I've done just a lot of national commercials, but fitness modeling, acting, hosting. That's my background.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some other things in there as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. Yeah, I'm
No,
sure
I don't know. Some will
things.
come up. I forget.
Yeah.
I'm like a jack of all trades. Like backflips and
Come on, Andy does backflips. This is amazing. This is like a dating show. That's awesome, bro. Cool. Well, thanks for giving us that. I just like to contextualize for the audience just who you are and what you've done just professionally, because a lot of people listening to this are trying to figure out how to maybe get into the industry, whether that's entertainment or acting or music or whatever. So that's just helpful. But yeah.
Should I talk about what I do now or no?
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
There might have been something missing here.
Sorry, folks. He's got more.
I'm talking about the things that actually people cared about. And now I'm talking about things that I'm actually doing now.
Yeah.
Which people may not care as much about, but I know there's a purpose for it.
Please.
Is being a retreat coach and running retreats for teenagers specifically for the next generation.
Yeah.
So got one coming up in a couple weeks as of
Can you tell us about
recording this. Yeah. So it's called Dare to Bond. It's
this will come out this Friday, so it'll be good.
Yeah. So for me, I like helping people overcome fear, step out of complacency. And I do that through immersive events or, I come up with opportunities, even if it's on the spot, to help people step outside their comfort zone, because you get a chance to really feel for where somebody's at. And I've walked through fear my whole life, and being able to walk through it, I take such joy in helping other people overcome that. So what better way than to do that with the next generation? So we are going on a hike where every person is going to have a different set of burdens. Whether some are going to be blindfolded, some are not going to be able to hear anything, some are not going to be able to speak. Well, I'll allow them to breathe, but
that is it. That is literally it.
But everyone's got something to deal with, and the whole symbolism behind there is, if you look around, everyone's got something they're struggling with. Something's not fair. There'll always be that one person. There will be one person that doesn't carry anything. It would be unfair, and they will not be able to drop that burden until they get to the very top.
Come on.
There's a lot more than that, but yeah. So retreat,
man. So that's more
hosting,
of the stuff.
Speaking, and coaching teenagers.
Yeah. So from a little more of like maybe direct entertainment to now more like coaching, like empowering, like a lot more like immersive stuff of actually helping people in like a day to day.
For me, it's a higher impact, and it's a transition. Yeah. Because somebody once told me every pro athlete, every pro bodybuilder will one day not be able to pick up a 100-pound dumbbell. I want to make sure I'm transitioning with wisdom, knowing that, hey, I can still enjoy life. I'm still training at the end of this year to show up and do a 73-mile race in the Smoky Mountains, 16,000 elevation gain in only 24 hours. Can I do it? I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, because you're always doing like physical things to, like, don't you pick a physical thing every year that you do to like?
Yeah, that would be it. But I'm doing in training for that. I'm doing a marathon in just a few weeks. Wow. Very first one. So I'm training for that.
That's awesome. I love it.
So cool. I still will be an athlete behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But as far as a coach, I'll be undercover.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it.
Under the radar.
I love it. So, and I was gonna say you better keep running.
I don't know any of these questions. I should have prepared myself.
Contextually, there's no. I didn't give him the questions ahead of time. I try not to. Sometimes I will if I feel like the guest wants it, but it's more fun.
So then I can be more prepared.
Yeah.
You know,
We don't want him to be prepared, folks. We want to, it's what, okay.
This is edited?
We're going to cut this out. Okay, back to the, okay, folks, we're going to ask him some of the questions now.
Hey, yes, welcome.
That was the introduction.
I'm so happy to be here.
We just had to skip through some stuff.
From the beginning.
I was slurring a lot. We were both slurring our words. Anyways, question number 1. What did you start pursuing around music? And then maybe kind of how did it lead into the other things you did? Because didn't you start doing, you had some like kind of visions and music stuff that you kind of wanted to initially pursue?
No, not at all.
Okay, cool.
I'm kidding.
Well, then get the hell off the podcast, man. Yeah.
You're gonna wing something on me. I'll wing it right back.
Yeah.
No, so I grew up a musician. My dad's a professional musician. He's out now, recently retired, but he's toured around the world with Maynard Ferguson, Frank Sinatra, Natalie Cole. Like he's played with a lot of the greats. Has done on Broadway shows. Got to travel with him during the launch of Jekyll and Hyde with Linda Eder.
Wasn't that during the Great Depression? Isn't that?
Yeah, it was like 19.
He was a kid, folks. So.
Yeah, it was way back then. But anyway, that was when I was like 40.
Pretty much the same age.
But anyway, fast forward now. So these are some people that he played with. Great jazz musician, and still travels around playing at prisons. But I grew up playing the saxophones and alto, tenor and alto, and also the clarinet. Don't tell nerd alert. Yeah.
Nerd alert.
Yeah. So
come on.
But look at what this nerd turned into.
Yeah.
Now.
Can you believe it? From nerd to
I had to give up. I had to stop.
The leader of the freaking football team.
Transition to curling the tuba.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I began teaching private lessons. I was in 6th grade. The end of 6th grade. I had 5 students a week.
Wow.
And I was teaching music.
That's awesome.
And fundamentals. And I went through symphonic band, would play with the jazz band, learned improv. I was naturally getting lessons twice a week from my dad, my grandfather when he was still alive. And even when I was messing up in my room, I would hear from the kitchen, B flat,
Wow.
Like, it was drilled in me.
That's
but
amazing.
It was like, it was so drilled in me, the performance mentality. It was like, practice does not make perfect. If you've heard that, wait until you hear this. It's perfect practice makes perfect.
Wow.
But at the end of the day,
Pressure.
that translates into music, but not your personal lives. Like, make sure
don't do that in your relationships.
No.
Because it'll not go well.
Are you practicing? Well,
babe,
that wasn't
practice,
perfect.
babe.
Again.
Practice loving me now. That's amazing.
Is that your best?
That's amazing. Yeah. So I'm curious, how did you go from maybe that was some of your start music stuff to like, what was your first, I guess, like, everyone has like a moment of breaking into like the industry that they're in, right? So when was the moment that you went from like, I want to do this to like your first opportunity? That felt
from music?
Just from entertainment, I think, in general. Okay. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Well, I will say just a quick transition from music and why I changed was my grandfather. I'll never forget what he said before he died. He said, being a musician, and this is not to kill any, to shut down any musicians.
Yeah, every person in the audience is going to be like, what?
Like, just turn the volume down right now if you're sensitive.
Mute this.
If being a musician, he said, is the best second job. From his opinion, it was just really tough because they would gig all the time, and it's a rough journey. And if my dad loved it, but he made the sacrifice. He was out a lot of the time, being able to provide for a family and doing gigs and doing multiple weekend jobs. So that was part of his lifestyle. But I took that to heart and realized I want to pursue. I want to focus on academics and athletics. And I just thought, hey, if I want to get into acting, what are some of the role models what have they done? And I looked at Brad Pitt thought, wow, he's a great actor. Like, well, at least at the time, I'm like, I would love to be like Brad Pitt. He got into modeling. And I thought, well, fitness modeling will be my start. So I started doing that, top of my game, and was booking a lot of jobs left and right. Figured if I get in the best shape of my life, I'm going to get booked all the time. And I got booked a lot. So just traveled a lot with that and shot a lot. The only downfall to modeling is if you're going to do really well, you have to be at least 5'10", 5'10 and a half, 6'1.5", ideally, if you want to be well versed.
You're 6'3" to me, man. Okay.
Thanks, man. That's the personality counts. It goes
He's 6'3" inside, folks.
So,
that's all that matters. That's
looks
cool.
6'3", but technically 5'9".
Yeah, hey, it doesn't matter. My license says 6 foot. Probably not 6 foot.
Does it really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm like,
I went to the doctor. I'm like 5. Please don't show this to the girl that I'm talking to.
Okay.
I'm like 5'11.78. So
But who's going to say that?
who's going to say that?
No.
So I'm just going to say
But
6
you
feet.
just say it here. Have you ever said this ever
6 feet,
before on a
baby.
podcast?
I don't think I've ever said that publicly before.
Exclusive information.
Definitely not on the internet.
Yeah.
So I'm deleting this for sure. No, I'll keep it in. We're keeping it vulnerable here.
All right, you know what? I'm going to be vulnerable too.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm technically
yeah.
5'8" and 7/8.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
That's so embarrassing.
So,
Thanks
yeah.
for sharing that.
Yeah, I'm in the 5'8"
Vulnerability.
category, you know?
But I'm not wasted, baby. But we're not wasted. Totally sober. Just speaking of water.
Water, yeah.
Yeah, water break, intermission. So, and a cue elevator music. Okay, so that was wait, no, you answered the music transition, but then what was like kind of your break in?
Transition from entertainment. I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah,
to coaching?
No. The transition from like I want to do entertainment to like your first actual gig that felt like, oh my gosh, mom and dad, I did something, like this is it.
Okay.
I made it, you know, in a way.
Okay, I got an agent and I finally landed an audition and I landed a commercial. I think it was for like Coke or Mardi Gras and for Universal Studios. And I was very grateful for that. Long story short, I was in it, so grateful, told everyone about it. And then I was in it for like a split second. I think you saw the arm.
Yes.
And then I was in another commercial as like a principal character. And then you saw me for like 2 seconds. And I was like, all that for that? I got to do many commercials in order to get a highlight reel.
Yeah.
So I just kept on doing all these jobs, paid my dues, would do jobs that paid $500. I'm driving from Tampa Bay all the way down to Miami for the audition, coming back, then going all the way down there for the callback audition. I booked the job. Then now you got to go down there for the fitting and the shoot. Like, it's like, what am I doing? All for $500? That doesn't pay for gas or anything.
Totally.
Even way back in the Great Depression.
Yeah, even in the 20s when this guy was around.
Yeah.
That's incredible. No, acting is
Just
funny.
incredible.
Yeah, just incredible. That's his brand. That's his brand.
It's embarrassing.
What a cheesy guy. So I did a little bit of acting, and also this mic, I just need another stand mic, because this mic I just have to hold this whole time, and it feels like...
Yeah, it's good. You'll get a workout.
I don't have to do it with my body, but...
You don't have to wear long sleeves anymore after this.
Yeah, I'm getting a little fluffy, folks, but I'm going to trim back. I'm going to trim back for those summer abs.
You're in great shape already, man.
Thanks.
I know you're just humble.
Come on, that's true.
Come on.
Praise God. Anyways, I did a little bit of acting, and I did like modeling. I did a little bit of acting, but my only actual gig that I got booked for was a Tillamook cheese ad, and I was there. Like you said, it was like a 12-hour shoot all day. Literally, it was in Oregon, so it was pouring rain. We were freezing. The only thing we
They
got
did that on purpose.
Yeah, no, you're that. We're like in a little warming hut, right? A little warming tent, and then. I got paid like $700 for it, which at the time was, I was like, this is great.
You don't tell anybody that.
Yeah.
You're like, who we go? Oh, you must be rich.
Yeah. And it was literally the ad. I don't even know if I could probably find it, but it's just my hand. It's just like 1 second of me grabbing cheese. And then I remember like my friends watched it with me and they were like, wow.
That's me. That's me. Look at that.
I was like, that's my way to deposit. Be like, that's my hand. I was like, I'm famous, Mom.
It's crazy.
But
what's funny? My first audition that I ever booked, I actually booked it, and just before they confirmed that I booked it...
It was for the movie Norbit with Eddie Murphy, is that right?
No, that's the other guy.
He was playing Respucia.
That's the guy you're interviewing tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, that's tomorrow's podcast.
So,
sorry.
But they asked to look at my hands, and I'm like, well, why? And they said, well, you wouldn't believe how many guys bite their fingernails. And I was like, wow. And I literally 2 weeks prior to this, or 2.5 weeks prior, I stopped biting my nails because somebody prayed over me. And they said, hey, if you want to stop biting your nails, there's like power in prayer. And they did that. And I literally stopped biting him. Wow. And I was like, wow, really? People have bad nails? I was like, but I literally just stopped.
Crazy.
And it allowed me to book this commercial. And I'll never forget that. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. Well,
anyway, so speaking of the hand,
speaking of the hands and power and prayer.
And then they see the arm and then they see the face.
Yeah. So commercials were kind of your start to like that world, I guess. And then we're gonna ask the deep questions, but
I thought that was.
Oh, that wasn't the deep questions.
Okay.
Don't worry, we will go deep here. The thing that Justin wants to answer, the why.
At the very end, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I went through all that stuff, and I'm not wasted.
Yeah.
But I got deep anyway.
What's the point? What do you feel like? I guess give us maybe like 2 or 3. I just want to like contextualize it before we kind of go into like the heart. But what's some like maybe just 2 or 3 highlights for you over your career in entertainment for the last 10 years? Like what's been just like pretty cool mountaintop moments for you in that space? Whether that's, a huge moment publicly or just like moments that you had, like what have kind of been some of those marking spaces for you, if that makes sense?
Yeah, okay. I can think of 2 right off the bat. One is my opportunity that I had for the national commercial with Doritos and Xbox. I had no idea it was going to be for Doritos or Xbox. They just said, hey, we're looking for somebody who has scuba diving experience and has swam with sharks. And I'm like, well,
You're probably the only person that fits that bill.
no. Well, here's the thing. I think it was like a month or two prior to that was when I overcame my fear of sharks.
Wow.
I was plagued with the fear of sharks my whole life. And one day I thought, like, you'll have to get a sneak peek another time to hear the whole backstory because it's crazy. But I overcame my fear of sharks that I had my whole life. And it all came down to me confronting it and making a deal with God and saying, God, if you get me through this, it will unlock a whole new level of fear, a whole new level of freedom on the other side of fear.
Freedom from fear.
Yeah. If I were to not die, and I had to trust that I would not die, I swam across my canal at midnight in the Boca Ciega Bay at midnight by myself across the canal where there's somebody 10 years prior to that day. They jumped on a. Can you check?
Yeah,
something?
let's pause it just to make sure it's still filming.
Technical difficulties.
I think we're good.
Testing 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
Cool.
All right, just making sure
going.
you guys are still here. All right, back to the story. So this was just an opportunity where I overcame my fear of sharks, swimming across the canal at midnight, where 10 years prior to this, a man jumped off his dock in that same body of water, jumped onto a bull shark, and it killed him. But this same body of water.
The same body of water.
Yeah, and I knew I needed to face my fear. And people may say it's stupid, but I knew this was my worst fear. And if I did it, I knew for a fact I would have unlocked a whole new level of freedom.
Did you do it at night also?
I did at night. At
oh my gosh, that's so scary,
at night,
bro.
by myself.
Oh my gosh.
And I swim, midnight.
Fully nude, right?
What?
Fully nude, weren't you?
No,
fully
I didn't
nude?
go that far.
Okay, next time.
But anyway, I was. No. No, so I swam across the canal. On the way back, I saw bioluminescence by my. It's a long story short, but what I learned was in my greatest weakness, God can still be there and help me overcome all these things. But because of that, I shared
amazing.
that story in the audition that I swam with sharks because I knew they're in there. And I just shared that, hey, I just swam across my canal at midnight by myself and I'm a certified scuba diver. They liked that story. They booked me on the job. There were a couple of other possible contestants. I ended up booking the spot and I swam down in a whole tank of reef tiger sharks that look scarier than they really are. And they're like huge sharks. And anyway, just diving through the bottom. And yeah, that was an Xbox One commercial.
That's amazing, bro. That's a crazy story.
That was a highlight, just overcoming fear and then going right back into it on national TV. It's like anything that was a fear could be like a strength later on. That was the first thing that stood out.
I love that. That's amazing. That's really cool. Cool. So getting into the heart stuff more, what is your why behind why you do what you do currently? Like what's your core motivation for why you're doing all of it?
I would say if I can have a similar impact in someone else's life, the way that other people have influenced my life and believing me, especially when I didn't feel like I had what it took to get to the next level. I felt like I just, everyone's going to feel like they're not good enough. I also felt like I fell through the gaps in a lot of areas. I was very insecure, passive, weak, and nobody really saw my potential other than a handful of people. And those people meant so much to me because all it took was not me believing in myself, but for somebody else to, and for me to believe them.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Totally. Yeah.
So it's to be able to emulate that in other people and then use my own creative gifts in pouring that into other people. And that's why I like doing events.
That's so cool. And like bigger picture, what do you feel like is like the impact that you want to leave and like make in like the coaching space and the event space and the entertainment space? Like what's like what's like your mission statement even deeper than that, I guess, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I have some huge dreams. I mean, a couple of my big dreams involve just really bridging the gap within the community worldwide. And I do what I can, but at the end of the day, it's just like classic.
Kind of like Pitbull a little bit, Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305. I was born in Miami.
Yeah, I knew it. I had a feeling.
Mr. 305.
He's Mr. 305.
Yeah.
Come on.
I would say but if you want to impact the world, start within your own city first. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Come on.
And I believe if things are meant to be, other people will notice that, hey, there's fertile soil to plant here, and they'll see that. Yeah,
totally. I love that. And I feel like it reminds me of like the parable of the talents, right? That Jesus said, where in the Bible, Jesus says, he gave 3 servants talents. like coins, basically. One of them 1, one of them 3, one of them 5. And to the one that had 1, just buried it and didn't do anything with it. And then he got, sent to hell or whatever happened to him, right? Or like Jesus said, you wicked and faithful servant. And then the one with 3 made 3 more. And the one with 5 made 5 more. And then Jesus said, because you're faithful with that, I'll give you even more. And just what you're saying reminds me of that, of like, if we're faithful with like our local space, that's how it starts, right? It's like, okay, what does God call me to do right here with what's in front of me? Do that well. And then you get a little bit more, then you get a little bit more until you're doing it with the whole world, right?
One thing that sparked up that I thought was very interesting is that the man with the first talent, his perspective on who his master was distorted. He said, because you were a hard man, I wanted to bury it, and give you what you gave me. And that's just, it's showing us that God has not given us that spirit of fear, and every single person he gave talents to, he multiplied it, he doubled it, and if we were to just activate that faith, he would have probably doubled it or even tripled it. So the main thing is he had a distorted view of his master. Yeah. And it also says in scripture that waited a long time. So he's going to be patient with you. So I don't know. I just wanted to share that.
No, that's really good. And like, I know it says in that story as well, that the one who didn't multiply the talent, who buried his talent in the ground, he says, you were a hard man. And he says, actually, I'm pretty sure it says, and I was afraid. Yeah. So he buried the talent. So it's pretty cool because that's what you're fighting against is people's fears. And you're pushing people to overcome their fears. And a lot of times the reason people don't step out to pursue the things they feel like they're born to do is because of fear.
Yeah, and it's a lot of lies that were spoken over you from other people, even people that are closest to you. One of my greatest fears growing up was feeling like, was the fear of getting to know somebody too well, where they got to know me so well they'd think I was stupid, and that made me not want to open up to people. So it's just, those are lies that come in, and you just have to discern, hey, are these God's words or are these lies trying to keep me afraid and shut down?
I love that. That's so good. I think that's still a process. Like, I think for me, even like, it's still something I feel that when I get, sometimes when I get closer to someone, I am afraid of that. Like, oh man, like what if they really get to know me and they feel like I'm inconsistent and all that. So,
but what if in the whole process, it's just for you to be able to feel loved on a deeper level? It's really just about you because you don't want to open up, but that could be, if it's the right person, the right family member, or even in a relationship, they give you that opportunity, but you have to be vulnerable enough to take that rejection.
So good.
But knowing that everyone, even people in my life, I had a mentor in my life, totally like abused that trust. But people will fail you. They'll do you wrong. Yeah, they will ultimately fail. So
even the best
your trust,
people.
Yeah, and not humans knowing that they're going to be perfect. They're not.
So where do we put our trust then?
Yeah, we put our trust in the Lord, man.
Come on, the Lord. Let's go.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I'm not wasted. So last question. We're tying it all together. Yeah. What would you say to someone else wanting to go into like a similar path that you've gone? What advice would you give?
Which rabbit hole?
Any of them. Like
Ninja Warrior? Or
I mean, I think beyond that, probably just like, what would you say to our listeners? Like in general, like if you were sitting in the group of people that were interested in being maybe successful in like the music and entertainment space, what would you give to them?
All right. So if you want to be a Ninja Warrior, no, I'm kidding. All right.
First, you got to get really, really
honestly,
fit.
I would say the first thing that comes to mind is everyone's created uniquely. I mean, look at, everyone has a different unique fingerprint, right?
Yeah, are you kidding me? Come on, look at this guy.
And here's the biggest thing that I honestly was just praying last night, and God really gave me a strong word, and I just want to share it. And I think this is the first time sharing it because it's the first opportunity I've had. But don't stride, just abide. And that doesn't mean you don't work hard, but it means spiritually knowing who you are. And if you don't know, that's okay. Just continue searching. There's nothing wrong with that. Be authentic. Don't just believe something because somebody told you to believe it. But I really believe that a lot of people who stride to a fault, they don't just rest and see what they have in front of them. See the relationships they have in front of them. See that they have a God that loves them, that literally will be more faithful to you than you are to him. And because of that, you know that God has your back. You don't have to miss the opportunities that God has given you because he's created you to be something so unique, whether it's to be a mother of 3 and that's it, because he wants to use them to impact the nations, or he just
good.
wants you to change the world and be the greatest entrepreneur ever and be able to be a financial beacon of hope. You know, whatever it is, you're going to fall short, but surround yourself with good people. Your environment is more powerful than willpower, but also just know who you are in God's eyes and know that you are uniquely made. And as long as you are seeking his approval over others, you're going to be okay. You're going to have a great life.
Dang, I love it. Justin Maina, everybody. Let's go.
But I'm not wasted.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Bro.
That's But I'm Not Wasted. This was super fun. Justin, where can we keep up? Oh, the plant finally fell.
Yeah.
The stupid plant.
We were working so hard to try to hide this thing, but it's all right.
Where can we follow you? Where can we find like more information about your retreat? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, do you guys do the thing swipe up? No? You can find me on Justin Maina Official. Because this guy in Kenya took Justin Maina. But anyway, Justin Maina Official on Instagram.
Some guy in Kenya took it?
Yeah, I did. I reached out and said, hey, can I get
so
that?
Funny.
Anyway, but yeah, Justin Maina Official on Instagram or justinmaina.com, MAINA. And all my information from speaking, coaching to retreats are there.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. But I'm not wasted.
Peace. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. Like legit, I want to know your feedback. I want to know if you liked it, if you didn't like it, talk about different things, whatever you want. Just send me messages, DM me on Instagram, Zach Wolf Music. Share this everywhere across your social media that helps us grow. And stay tuned for the next episode. Let's go.